Hello and welcome to the third and final installment of the training videos for our new HTML5 version of the Public GIS Viewer. When you access the application to get to your toolbar, again, just a reminder, a couple of different ways. You can double click in the top border here, or you can use the open toolbar icon over here to the right. So if we go over to our tasks tab, these are the various tools that um, you can access here. Property report, the crime search and report tool, printing your maps, exporting your maps, downloading data, sharing your maps via social media, or you can send the GIS team at Wichita a email for suggestions or comments or questions. So we'll begin with the property report. I'm just going to zoom in on my map a little bit here. The parcel property lines will turn on. I'm going to just turn the aerials off. So when we run the report, the first thing it's going to do is remind us that we need to click on a parcel to generate the report. So I just click on OK in this dialog, click on a parcel. It'll indicate where I clicked, and then it'll generate the report. Over here to the left, I can click on the link to open up my property report. And as you can see, it's similar to the previous version. We've added a few additional fields for the parcel information, but basically the same format that it was previously. I can print this, I can save the PDF, email it to somebody. All of the links are still active. I can investigate what my zoning code means or look at the Sedgwick County appraiser's information about that particular parcel. Shows us jurisdictional information, links us out to the FEMA website for flood insurance rate map information, gives us census information. When I'm done with my property report, I can just hit close. It takes us back to the all available layer list or maps. The next tool we'll go over is the crime search tool. So I want to turn on my crime map set. It'll load in the crime data. And as you can see, we have clustering turned on. So there's 14 incidents here. If I click on that, I can go through and look at the different offenses, view additional information for each of those offenses. I can run a report from here on that collection. So if I look at the legend, you can see the iconography for each of the different types of crimes, and then an indication of what the clustered symbology represents in terms of counts. As I zoom in and out of the map, the clustering will change. So you can see there's 50 incidents here, 44 incidents here, but as I zoom in, the clustering will start to spread out until eventually I get to just the individual occurrence locations. I can go back to my layer list. If I want to do a crime search for a particular area or defined search radius, I can search by point. I can buffer from that point. I can search by city council. I can search by homeowners association, neighborhood association, parks, which will buffer an area around a particular park. I can search for incidents within a particular police beat, uh, a buffered area around a specific Wichita public school, or incidents that occur within a specific zip code boundary. So let's do a zip code boundary real quick as an example. And I can use this drop down list to pick the type of crimes that I want to investigate, or I can do all part one crimes, or I can do all crimes, whether it be part one or part two. And then I can also do my time frame all the way up to a 90-day time frame. Be advised, the Obviously, the larger geographic area, the larger time frame, and the larger population or types of crimes that you're going to search for will necessarily make the analysis process take a little bit longer. But I'm going to search for all crimes in the last 7 days that happen within a particular zip code. So when I click OK, I'm going to get a dialog that allows me to select the zip code that I want to search within. So I'll just pick a particular zip code that I'm familiar with. I'll click OK, and it's going to zoom to that zip code and highlight all of the crime incidents within the last 7 days that occurred within that specific zip code boundary. It highlights the crimes. I can zoom and pan. I can identify on particular incidents if I want to. This is the number of incidents that it discovered in that search. So we've got 52. I can look at that in a table view. And as I click on each of these records, it's going to highlight that record and zoom and pan to that. So I've got information about those particular incidents, where it happened, when it happened, the day of the week, things like that. I can click on this panel action menu here. I can export these records to either a CSV or Excel file. I can export it as a GIS format file, or I can run a report. So when I click on run a report, it's going to give me a link to open my report. When the report's done, I can open it up in a new tab, and it kind of categorizes it by types of crimes, gives us a total count, just basic information about the crimes that occurred within that zip code boundary. Again, I can print this, save the PDF file, email it, whatever. So when I'm done with my report, I just click on done. I can close that window. I can close my result set. When I do the search by a particular area, it's going to create this blue graphic that outlines that zip code, for example. So if I want to clear that, I go to my tools menu and I go to the graphics edit tool and just hit clear, and it'll clear that from the map. I'm going to go back to all available maps. I'm going to turn my aerials off. Go back to my tasks tab. So as I had mentioned in a previous session, if I had drawn some graphics on my map or maybe did some measurements, I'll do an area here. So I've got my measurement area with the labeling that comes up as far as square feet, perimeter information. So I've got a graphic and a measurement graphic on there. So if I want to print my map, those graphics will now persist in the map. So I can select my layout. I've got several choices here, either with or without a legend. I've got landscape and portrait, and then I've also got two larger size maps, 11 by 17. So I'm just going to do 8.5 by 11 landscape, keep my legend turned on. I want the output to be PDF. That's the only choice at this point. I can do the current scale, or I can choose a specific scale frame that I want. And I can give it a title. Then I'll click on the print button. It's going to prepare my layout for me, and then it's going to give me a link to open up that file, which opens up in a new window. And as you can see, it gives us a basic layout, and the graphics that I created persisted. All right, moving on to the next tool. I can also export my map as an image file. So if I click on that tool, it's going to bring up a dialog that allows me to choose the various image formats, whether it be TIFF or PNG or a PDF. So I can select a JPEG, for example, if I wanted to place it in a PowerPoint presentation. I can also include the georeference data, and what that'll allow me to do is bring it into desktop GIS software or AutoCAD or some program like that, and it's going to have the coordinates, have that image line up with the coordinates where it is on the Earth. So I'll collect or select that if I wanted to, or I can deselect it. Click Create Image. It's going to prepare the image and then give me a link to open that image up. It just opens it up in my browser because it's the default viewer. But I can, at this point, right click and save the image, or I can, print the image or what have you. And then I can share this image with whomever I want, put it in a presentation, Word document, what have you. Our next tool is the download data tool. So I can zoom to my area wherever I want, I'm interested in, maybe find an address, zoom to that, whatever I want to do. Then if I click on the download data tool, it's going to give our standard disclaimer, some instructions on impacts of downloading large data sets. And this is for downloading data in either a GIS or AutoCAD format. But by clicking OK on this, you agree to our disclaimer. Just click on OK. There's a dialog in the information panel that opens up. I can select multiple data sets if I want by just holding down the control key. So let's say I want parks and neighborhood associations. And I hit next. Now I can either grab data based on a polygon that I draw, a rectangle that I draw, or the current map area. So I'll just select the current map area. It captures the geometry of the current map area. I hit next. It'll give you a message saying that the geometry has been captured. I hit next. Then it gives me choice to select the data format, the output format that I want. So either AutoCAD, MicroStation, shapefile, or a file geodatabase. So I'll just select shapefile. It's pretty common GIS format. And then when I hit finish, it's going to extract the parks data and the neighborhood associations and put those in separate shape files and put those in a zip file that I can download. So I'll just click the download icon, and it gives me the link to open it up or save it. So I can just I can it'll automatically put it in my downloads folder, or I can choose to save it someplace else. And here's my data that I downloaded, the parks and the neighborhood association shapefile data. You can close that tool. Something new in this HTML5 version of our viewer is sharing your map through social media. So if I click share, I get a dialog that allows me to click on the various popular social media applications. So if I wanted to go to Facebook, it'll take me there and I can log into Facebook. Or if I wanted to go to Google Plus, I can go and log into Google Plus. And then I can share these through my stream or my feed in any of these different ones, whether it be Twitter. I can even email it. So for example, if I select email, it's going to open up my default email client. I can mail this to myself. I didn't give it a subject. That's all it's telling me. So I'm going to send anyways. Now inside my email client, you can see that I received the message, and the body of the message is going to be a hyperlink to the application. And what it's going to do is open up the application, and it's going to pan and zoom and turn on the different layers on or off that I had. So it's basically a snapshot of the map that I sent. So this is what I sent. Let me close this dialog. And this is what I received. Obviously, by default, the layer list was closed, the toolbar was closed, but I can make this map look exactly as this is the map I sent, this is the map that I received. So this is real handy if you wanted to collaborate with somebody over the phone or what have you. You can send them exactly what you're looking at. The layers that you have turned on will be turned on. The scale, the area of interest that you were looking at will be persisted. So it's a nice little jump start to say, hey, this is what I'm looking at, and then you can collaborate and work in the map together with maybe a coworker or family member or what have you. So that's the share tool. Um, Social media and emailing it. And then finally, the last tool I wanted to go over is the contact us tool. It just opens up a dialog that allows you to create a message that comes straight to all of the GIS staff here at the City of Wichita. And this is a means by which users can report problems, ask questions, provide suggestions or recommendations. So I encourage you strongly to contact us at any time. We're here to help. We're happy to respond. And if there's any issues, we really want to know about it so that we can get them fixed as soon as possible. So that's the new application. This is the conclusion of the last training session. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us. I hope that you get a lot of use out of our application. And again, contact us with any suggestions, requests, or problems that you may be experiencing. We really think that you're going to enjoy this latest version of the City of Wichita's Public GIS Viewer. Thanks and have a great day.